recording already?
Oh yeah, you gotta clap.
I'm recording, but no clap.
Oh, so I didn't record it. Now I'm recording.
So QuickBooks is on. Microphone is selected, and the on switch on your microphone is on. I have to just double check. Is your on switch on? Okay, everybody recording?
Mhm.
Brad, you good? I lost Brad.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome again to Children's Ministry Now, the weekly podcast of CM Connect. Our heart here is to connect, serve, and advance children's ministers around the world. I'm your host, Trevor Adams, and you heard a little bit there at the beginning of our podcast from our interview this week. As always, we'll be answering your questions later on in the episode. But first, with me this week is Michael Chanley, president of CM Connect.
Hello.
Lori Bertrand, senior director of children's ministry at Lakewood.
Hi, friends.
And Brad Tate, executive teaching pastor at 242 Community Church in Michigan.
We have been living a lie, friends.
What?
That's a good intro.
At least I've been living a lie.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm so ready.
My life has been changed, and I feel like a lot of our listeners are unaware of this truth that I'm about to drop on them.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys know?
There's a lot of jokes here, but I'm not going to say any of them. Okay, go for it.
Did you guys know that Skittles got rid of lime flavor?
Brad, who cares?
No, but
no one likes Skittles. It's
But
the worst candy
that's
ever.
false.
Well, no,
That's
Tootsie
false.
Rolls are the worst.
Skittles got rid of lime. There's no lime Skittles.
Why not? Why would you get rid of lime?
The green
Why
ones
not
are
cherry?
the green ones are apple flavor now.
Really?
Yes, and it's been that way for years.
No.
Yes, it's been that way for like 3 years. I did not know. Apparently, I have not a bag of Skittles in 3 years.
They just tried to sneak one over on us and
I
didn't
know.
say anything about it.
I know. Can you believe that? Because remember when the M&Ms? Here's the thing. M&Ms, I respect them. Okay, because when they changed the light brown to blue, there was like a vote. Like, hey, people, we're doing this. Let's take up a vote. Is the nation? Are you with me on this? M&M is above board. Skittles did some Benghazi stuff, went behind our back, and just switched the flavors on us. Did you guys know that?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know. Now I feel.
You know what?
I don't know if I never look at a bag
I'm
of Skittles
gonna-
the same way.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a poll up on our Facebook group and ask people which is better, Skittles or Sweet Tarts.
Oh, Skittles will kill.
for sure.
No
Skittles will
way.
kill. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
But that brings up a good question, Michael. Here's my question for all of us. What is your favorite candy, and why?
Mm.
Just wait.
Obviously, it's not Skittles.
Before
'cause
we,
none of us have bought
before, we,
Skittles.
before we get all serious and deep into candy and stuff, I think we need to take a moment and just recognize that Lori's back and how much better.
Hey, back from her
How much better
suspension.
podcast.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not talking about the suspension.
Oh, I'm so sorry I was suspended. I didn't even know I was
Our
suspended.
campaign to bring back.
Oh, it's
So
good to be back. I missed you guys. I was so sad not to be at the CM Connect conference. I heard it was fantastic, though.
Yeah, it was a
Really good.
great time. We had a lot of fun.
I heard there was
We
an
missed-
invasion of
missed having you
rhinos.
there.
Though.
There was what?
An invasion of rhinos with root beer.
Yeah, yeah, and cookies. My mom showed up with cookies that she baked at the jail. That was kind of cool.
Now, I'm sure there was a story behind that.
She was a cook at the jail, and she baked them at the jail. Or no, actually, they're no-bake cookies, so she didn't bake them. She just made them at the jail and brought them over.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. That's brilliant. You gotta love your mama.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
Anyways, Lori's
Okay.
back. We're over it. So now let's go back to the Skittles.
All right. Favorite candy and why? Because the and why is the tricky part. So
Yeah.
I'll go first. I think, without a doubt, my favorite candy is like Sour Punch rope like the
Mm-hmm.
gummy sour rope.
Yeah.
I like when you eat it and it gets you like in the back of your jaws. You know, like it's like
Oh yeah.
I like I just like that flavor. I'm not a huge chocolate guy. I'm not a huge sweets guy, honestly. So I think the sour is what attracts me to that. So that's my jam.
You've done a lot of thought with this. That's good.
Yeah. I have two. Can I have two, Brad, or do I really have to get to one?
No, I'll allow two.
Okay. Thanks for the forgiveness. Let me have a little extra this week. You know what? I love Mike Ike's. Mike and
Oh
Ike.
yeah.
Okay.
Love Mike and Ike.
Those are
I
good.
don't know. It's just good. I can't tell you why. It's just good. And then I love toffee. Anything toffee. So
Really?
I do. I love toffee. Toffee is like my favorite. Has been since I was a little girl. Love toffee.
Like Werther's Originals?
Werther's Originals, Score bars, you name it. Anything with toffee.
Okay.
Love toffee.
So like candy, like because I would totally just say chocolate milkshakes. But
Yes.
that doesn't
But you
count.
can't. Yes. So she's like, and which, by the way, congratulations on you have a family member I saw that got a job, and Michael Chanley has a family member who got a job at Baskin Robbins, and he himself has a full-blown milkshake addiction. This is not going to end well.
It's so good because I can go get one of those like $6 milkshakes at Baskin Robbins, which I would never do because it seems like it's too much. I can just buy a whole bucket of ice cream. But now I can get them for
by the way, there is a whole bucket of ice cream in a milkshake. Just letting you know that.
I know. That's the great thing.
Next time everybody sees Michael, he's going to be 30 pounds heavier.
Yes,
so what's the employee discount at Baskin Robbins?
I think employees when they're on shift get free ice cream, and then it's 50% off for friends and family. So anyone that goes and visits her, they get half off.
But here's the thing: you can get free ice cream all day long if you're brave enough to just keep asking for samples.
Yeah.
I want all 31 flavors. Line them up.
Line them up. Let's do it.
Is it like a Baskin Robbins combined with a Dunkin' Donuts so you can get really good coffee? And no, I'm sorry.
No, unfortunately.
I'm sorry. I feel like you were robbed on that one then.
No, it's good. It's good. It's like this lifelong dream I've had has been fulfilled.
All right, back to candy. Your favorite candy. Go.
So I would totally say my favorite candy. Yeah, definitely Snickers comes to mind. Snickers candy bar. And the reason is because when I was in high school track, I used to have a Snickers bar like at every track meet, and so it has that memory attached to it. Anytime I'm hungry, like they have those commercials where someone is supposed to be I don't know, they're like hungry or whatever, and they act weird, or their character is being whiny or obtuse, whatever. That's totally me, and so if I have a Snickers bar, it makes me a better person.
And there you go. And a Snickers milkshake would be even better than that.
Indeed, it is. Yes.
All right, Trevor.
Mine has to be giant jawbreakers.
That's right. That's awesome.
Seriously?
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
No.
He still has one in his pocket
right now
from high school.
In a baggie. No, probably the nerd ropes. You see the nerd ropes?
Oh.
Because you got nerds by themselves are awesome, but then you also get the gummies, so it's an excellent combination.
There we go.
Okay, I'll seriously just put a poll up on our Facebook group. It's Children's Ministry Connect, and it says which is better, Skittles, Sweet Tarts, or it's a tie.
Can't have it.
Skittles is gonna kill.
Yeah. No.
I bet it does.
Vote number one, Sweet Tarts.
Nope. Skittles got this. So that brings me up to a question I just want to ask you guys about, because many of you are on the front lines in children's ministry. I am a step or two removed, but how do you guys handle food in your ministry?
It's always about food, Brad.
I know, but I'm saying, but think about candy. Like there's so many allergies. There's something like peanut allergies. There's gluten allergies. I had somebody ask me, I sent an email to the church and asked if we had gluten-free communion, and I was like, is that a thing? And I Googled it, and it's totally a thing. So like now, whenever like I'm setting up our communion time, and if anybody would like a gluten-free portion of the body of Christ, Just so, but with allergies, I mean, I know
Awesome.
Lori, you're at a huge church. Trevor, you volunteer, at a a smaller church. How do you guys handle food in your ministry?
Oh man, food, it's strategic. You have to be super strategic about it. We about had a throwdown in a staff meeting not too long ago. We're planning for our summer camp, and it's Celebration Theater. So we were for sure going to do popcorn as one of our snacks. So we were talking about what drink to give the kids. And so I was like, well, man, if you go to the theater, you got to have a slushie. Oh my goodness, it was like a throwdown over. Well, if we did slushies, they couldn't have red 40, I think, is the dye that.
That's red because people are allergic to red.
Yeah, and they're like, you can't have that, and da, da, da. So it was like it was a big throwdown. So no, but we handle it a couple of different ways. We have for the kids that are in the ministry and the snacks that we provide. We make sure we only have 4 different snacks for the kids that we just rotate in and out, and we keep an allergy list on every single counter. And it's a common question that we ask: are there allergies? And that's how we handle the snack.
Are your 4 snacks peanuts, shellfish, red slushy, and gluten?
A big red 40.
Gluten. We just give them gluten.
We just get some gluten.
All you can eat is gluten.
Yeah, no, they're still pretty typical. They're they're things that dissolve in kids' mouths. So it's goldfish, it's saltines, it's vanilla wafers type of stuff. So
Cool.
Nothing, and animal crackers. Those are the big snacks. But we and then when we do big events, we we give the big snacks as the kids leave, so their parents are with them. So parents can if it's not something the kid can have, they can manage the whole conversation. We just don't serve it inside. So we'll choose more fun snacks. When we do our fall jam, everyone gets a huge bag of candy. It's given to them as they leave, so the parents can manage it. Is how we approach it. And then we have a pretty strict policy because of food allergies that volunteers cannot have anything to drink with them besides water, and no food at all that they've brought in. We have break rooms and side rooms, so when they want team time, community time, they can have that. But actually, once they go into the floor, on the floor or into one of the rooms, they can't have any food or beverage with them.
Interesting. That's a good thing. I didn't even think about that. Like, do you have like Chanley? Like, no, Chanley, you cannot serve because you had a Snickers within the last hour. So it's like you can't go swimming for an hour after eating. Like, you can't serve in children's ministry until an hour after eating a Snickers.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Our church is still our church is still small enough that we just hope and pray that none of the kids have a
Trevor,
reaction.
Trevor, you're failing. Oh my gosh, Trevor, you're so fired.
Goldfish and pretzels for everyone.
Trevor. Yeah, but when you're in a small community, I think a lot of those issues work themselves out differently when you're at
You just know people, yeah.
Yeah, because you know people and because you know what people are dealing with and yes, I don't know. You have to be sensitive of guest Trevor and not kill them. But that was a big shock to me when I went from serving at a small church to serving at a much larger church, was some of the intentionality about things like that. We were not allowed to ever give out any candy that had any traces of nuts or anything, and that was just how we handled it. So it was. And then there's candies that are choking hazards also that you can't give out, like hard candies, and I don't know, just throw steak, make
steak,
have a piece of chicken.
It is hard, like finding things that work and work within, like especially when it's a fun treat and you really want to be able to have something nice for them. So, we do it. We just normally. You just have to be really intentional about making sure your parents' permission, they know what's going to get served. And, we've run into an even newer part. We have, for Camp Kids Life this year, we've partnered with our special needs ministry, which is called Champions Club. So we have actors that will actually be from our Champions ministry. We have Champions actors and, Kids Life actors. But with that combinations, with special needs, there's actually even more limitations.
Oh, wow.
What they can, the dietary restrictions for a lot of these kids is even higher. So it's, we've had to even like our basic snacks don't work in this scenario. So it's feeding you have to feed the kids, but how you get it done is it's a puzzle.
Yeah. Michael, what's been on your radar lately?
Oh man, there's been a lot. We're coming out the conference, so we're already thinking forward to with next year's. I was reading in the news today an article that came out of the Vatican that will probably be something I'm guessing people are going to hear a lot more about in the news, about the Pope releasing some documents about how the Catholic Church is going to be addressing marriage moving forward. And essentially, just to boil it all down to like as finite a point as possible, is that it's good news for people who are in blended families, but not good news for people who are homosexual, LGBT. Because what they've done is they've said we're just going to take a I think they said a more strict approach based on Scripture and not on tradition is kind of how they said it. But anyways, the gist of it is that they're trying to find a way to make it possible to bring families who've gone through a divorce and remarried to come back into the Catholic Church and to be able to take communion again. But anyways, I don't know that it's. I'm not Catholic. I don't really even know a whole lot about the Catholic Church, but I have a lot of family members that are in the Catholic Church, and globally, it is definitely the biggest Christian movement. So when you see something in the news, it's always interesting to see how conversation gets pushed forward and what it says and what it means, and it's good. I think it's a good thing to make blended families more welcoming. So it led me to this conversation about in my mind of wondering what are things that our churches are doing to make blended families feel more welcome in our church, or is there anything that you're doing to make blended families feel more welcome?
We give out Skittles. We show people like as these flavors go together in this bag, so your family can be one cohesive treat to the glory of God.
It's a rainbow.
Oh no! I did not say that.
Isn't that the Skittles thing? It's a rainbow of.
Eat the rainbow.
Eat the rainbow. That's what it is. Eat the rainbow. Bring your family to our church. Wait.
No. I think in our context, we've always been. Just divorce is unfortunately so prevalent, and there's so many blended families. Like that's something pretty common in our context at our church. That a good percentage of our families are blended, and so a lot of times we speak to that even in we did like a marriage series, and we speak to how do you parent your spouse's child that's not your child, and how do you co-parent together with your ex-spouse in a way that's it's going to bless your child and get past whatever differences you have in your relationship fell apart, and so we even talk about that from our stage as far as like trying to equip all parents in all scenarios when it comes to blended families.
I think one of the challenges I've noticed is you're trying to build a relationship with a kid, and just how custody works out. So often, a parent might get a child once a month, once a week, and so you're seeing a child even less than normal, and so building a relationship can be even more challenging, I think, as a children's minister.
Yep. Our church is so diverse on so many levels, and similar to Brad's church, we have a large population of blended families and single parent families, and so God has a purpose for all of us and what He wants to do, and so we just try and engage them where they're at and help them continue down the path and help inspire them to embrace what God has for them as much as possible.
Yeah. I don't know. When I was in staff at Southeast, I heard someone one time say that our church was the largest Catholic parish in Louisville because there have been so many people who had gone through divorce and then had left the Catholic Church but still wanted to live out their faith, and so they were coming to our church as an alternative. And I always thought that was an interesting way of thinking about it, that people, though they'd gone through this terrible thing and the Catholic Church had, from their perspective, it had abandoned them or had rejected them completely, but they still were seeking God, and they were able to find a place to to be healed and to come back to their faith. But anyways, it's just interesting to me that the churches, the Catholic churches, taking a stance that's more accepting. It's at least it appears to be, and I think it'll be a good conversation to see what happens. In the public forum outside of churches, how it shapes the conversation, and if it shapes the conversation or brings anything to light. And I'll be interested to hear what some people like Wayne Stocks and Linda Ransom Jacobs, who blog on this type of topic all the time. It'd be interested to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wayne, well, no, never mind.
No, speak of Wayne.
No, we'll edit this out. Brad.
We'll edit this out. Here, hold on one second.
No,
if we're gonna hit a pause, find out what's going on with the sound system in my background. Hold on a second.
That's fine. No, I was gonna segue. I was thinking we had an interview with Wayne, but I don't think we did.
Oh, we don't? Oh.
I don't think Brad got an interview with him.
Brad. Oh. We could get one though. He'd be a good interview.
Yeah, we need to.
Am I doing my now topic in this one or the next recording? When am I doing the now topic?
Next one.
Okay.
So I need.
Okay. All right, Michael. Favorite moment of the conference?
Hold on. Don't say that.
Okay.
I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that into our Q&A time. I was gonna put it up front, but
Okay.
we didn't kind
Well, don't tell me now.
get into that. So.
Don't tell me now.
All right, let's move
He's
to
back.
our interview.
Yeah, we're back.
And we're back. All right, question and answer time. Since we're coming right off the conference, I thought we should start first with just favorite memory or favorite talk or what sticks out to you the most from the conference, CM Conference 2016.
In the books. It's done. Well, it's mostly done right now. It's exploded all over my dining room table. I'm trying to do all the follow up and get all the recordings up online and all that stuff. So there's a lot of work yet.
Well, I cannot wait to hear Lori's memory. But before she would get to hers, I think.
Wow! Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Wow, the pain is real.
I think Barry.
Is real.
I think Barry's message and his testimony was just super powerful. It was and just getting the opportunity to hang out with him all week, kind of behind the scenes, and then to see him come up on stage and just the courage and just there's really the ministry that he has just in that testimony alone was very, very powerful for me.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways he almost made the conference for me. I mean, he did a skit every night.
Wow, Trevor. I mean, none taken. I mean, I was there. I mean, I was on the stage, but whatever. That's fine.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, his message was awesome, and we had an altar call afterwards, where people came up and had prayer, and it was just a real powerful time. Really, really good. Lori, he was at Lake.
Yeah, he was with us the week before, so he spoke to the kids on our Wednesday night service, and then we had a super weekend. He was with us for Easter weekend, so we do a super weekend where we do a big program. He was a part of that. Just such a phenomenal guy, but really his testimony is really strong, and his ministry to kids is phenomenal. The kids loved him, and it's a good heart. So, but he enjoyed Texas. He's one request where he was here. In your mind sometimes you're thinking Texas, and so you're thinking the West, and so his one request was to get to a gun range.
Yeah, that's like all the Aussies.
Yeah.
We don't need a gun range. Here's a gun right here. Oh, here's another one right here. Another pocket. Here's one right here.
Yeah, we interviewed him for episode 10 on the podcast. If you haven't heard him speak or heard his testimony, go check that out. But yeah, he's a guy that has a speech impediment, stutter, and yet when he's a clown, it doesn't seem to affect him at all. So But he actually preached on the main stage just as himself, not as a clown.
That's Pastor Barry, yeah.
So speech impediment at all, and it was awesome. It was really, really good.
It's very good. Yeah. So yeah, all the main stage stuff. I mean, everything was really a huge blessing to me. I loved getting to spend a little bit more time with Mariam from Iran. Obviously the opening night, the speaker was just amazing. That Brad Tate, man, I was like, I gave my life to Christ again. No, it was all good. Heidi did such a great job. I think a lot of people didn't know Heidi before. Heidi's not done a keynote at a conference before, and she just really knocked it out of the park. And I thought she did a great job. Everything was really good. I think the number one thing that really blessed me the most was there was a lady who came up to me. Actually, there were several people that came up to me, but there was one in particular who came to me on the opening night, and she said, "I just want you to know how much of a blessing this was, because we opened, for those of you who weren't there, we opened the first night with Brad speaking and with worship, and then we went into a time of communion and served communion to everyone who was there, all the children's pastors, and really made the focus of that night just worship and just being present and just kind of leaving behind all the chaos and being present there and experiencing God." And Brad did a really great job with the message for that. But I don't know if Brad, if you knew it or not, but a lot of the people there actually had put up a conversation in our Facebook post. It was earlier today, and asked people when was the last time they'd actually gone to a full worship service, start to finish. And some of them were like 3 years ago.
Wow.
There were a few of them who said, excluding being at the conference 3 years ago and some stuff like that. But yes, several people came to me and said, man, it was just such a blessing to be served communion and just to have a worship experience, and it was just so refreshing. And so that was so affirming to me because we extended the conference this year. We made it longer. We went to a 3.5-day conference so that we could have that special worship service at the beginning. And just to see how it blessed people, just really affirmed it. So I think we'll continue that to be a part of what we do at the conference. That's probably the biggest thing. There was a lot. I mean, seeing my kids serve was a blessing too. They helped out with the store.
The Zorbies were a big part.
Yeah, the Zorbies. People love those.
Yeah, I was gonna say Barry as well, but since Brad stole that one, my main thing over the week was taking care of all the breakout recordings and making sure everybody was set up. And as I've been going through them, I've just been amazed at some of the quality of some of the classes and different things. I haven't had a chance to listen to them all the way through. I've just kind of heard little snippets, but I'm gonna go back through and just listen to them all, just so that we can learn so much. We've talked in the past about how do you stay engaged as a leader, and we talked about podcasts and books and that kind of thing. And I mean, we have some great teachings from some really great speakers. So I'd encourage anybody they're all up on our store now at CM.
It's shop.cmconnect.org.
And so I'd really encourage you to go check those out and pick them up, because if you think about it, when we're hearing someone else speak, we are gaining all their years and years of experience. We are learning from that, and we are growing from that, so that we don't have to go through those same hardships and those same struggles. So just really encourage anybody to go check those out. Some great ones on there.
Awesome.
Next question. What are some strategies for dealing with messy people?
Water. Soap and water.
Water works great.
Yeah, you want to wash, rinse, then repeat is the key there.
Yeah.
And
wet
do
wipes.
that once a day. You want to do that once a day.
Yeah.
Is that not what you meant? Trevor's just walked away. He's just like, you guys are ridiculous.
Because we were supposed to ask the question and then just walk out and let Lori answer. Because in our last podcast, we were like, let's just ask the question, drop the mic, and walk out and let Lori answer.
I ruined it. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I was a little confused too. But
You all missed it. You
I
missed
missed it.
Miss the moment. Miss the moment.
We'll just
Jesus
edit
loves
all
you
this
too
out.
much to get teased.
But no, Lori, we did want to hear your opinion on
Everything.
I want to do with messy people.
strategies for helping in messy situations, messy people.
Strategies for messy situations and messy people. You know what? It comes in all forms, the messiness, and it's hard to know. What I've learned over time is you take each one individually, and how you handle each situation is a little bit different and a little bit, but the basics are still where they're at. You go for truth, and you go to encourage, and you go to help them move from point A to point B, and in children's ministry, the one thing you have to do with messy people, and sometimes it is the space that I think we make the biggest error, is when there's a messy situation, you have to remember children's ministry is a little bit unique, where your number one goal is the safety of the children. You want to make sure you're sharing Jesus with them and keeping them safe. And so sometimes we may choose to compromise the safety without realizing it, because we're so interested in shepherding the adult that's in the messiness. And so there's always a filter of, it's okay to remove someone from leadership or someone from serving for a season while they're dealing with their messiness.
Right.
But by removing them doesn't mean that you walk away from them. That just means that you don't have them serve, but you're still walking with them. You're still getting in the mess with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to actually one of our breakouts on the way here, dealing with difficult emotions, Wayne Stocks, and he was just talking about all the emotions that kids deal with, and there's divorces, there could be bullying,
Mm-hmm.
There's addiction, all the different things, and really helping kids identify their emotions and
Mm-hmm.
building those relationships and building
Yeah.
that dialogue. Really, really good. He had some really good illustrations that were kind of eye-opening for me. So.
And the truth is, while the kids may not create the messiness, they're always caught in the wake of the messiness. So if it's happening at home,
right.
they're feeling it in some way or another, and so helping them to be able to do with it. And it's not uncommon. Recently we had a situation with a young boy who we were suddenly very young, like nursery age. We were having some significant behavior issues, but he had some life situations that had happened in his home, but it was coming out through that. And so, you just have to be aware. Normally what I know with kids is if there's severe behavior issues, there's probably more to the story than just choosing to make bad choices.
All right, I'm going to edit this in just as a quick little thing. So yeah, that's a good point, Michael. That children's ministers so often aren't in worship. What are some things that we can do to stay connected, to stay recharged? I would think that would be a very difficult situation to find yourself in.
Yeah, sure. So just in the conversation that we had online in the Facebook group, it's again, it's Children's Ministry Connect. If you want to be a part of that conversation, there was a friend of mine, Marsha Hancock, and she mentioned that, hey, when I go to church with the children, it is worship, and so she just made the point that, I think she actually said, I'll take a break from worshiping with the kids when the senior pastor takes a break from preaching the sermon, and she said it's the same. It's leading worship is how I worship, and so I think you have to take that into perspective. I guess especially if you just have one service and you don't have an option to go to a secondary service. But then some of the other comments were mentioning, hey, Cash Hunter, he mentioned that he mentioned that he's able to go to a different service every week, and always is able to go because of his volunteers and the leaders have. So the gist of the conversation was about building a team of people who can help lead your ministry. If for some reason you can't, take time to listen to a podcast, or go online and find some video sermons, and just make sure you're being fed throughout the week. But don't ever skip the fact that when you're leading kids in worship, it's still worship service. So.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I think I'd add to that so often in ministry we can still be workaholics, and you have to take vacation. You have to have time away. Even if I encourage everybody to take a sabbatical every once in a while, take an extended period away and to be recharged. And if your ministry is at a place where you think that people can't live without you, then I think that's a warning sign that you need to be building up more leaders and people that can step in.
Yeah.
Because we should always be able to step out for a week or two and things to run.
For sure.
Okay.
I just recently did a sermon on the Sabbath, and my favorite thing was when you feel like you're in ministry, you feel like you're going up against the devil, and you have to work so hard, you have to work every day because the devil doesn't take a day off.
Right.
But then maybe the devil shouldn't be our role model. Maybe we should work like God did and
Right.
rest. And so I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I'll wrap it up.
I Snapchatted, by the way. I did it.
But before we wrap it up, I just think everybody needs to know the results of the online poll are 2-1 in favor of Skittles. I don't know what's wrong with people. Apparently, people favor it.
The people have spoken.
It's okay. It's all right. Whatever. People can be wrong.
Yeah. Well, maybe Sweet Tarts are a Kentucky thing. I'm just saying.
A majority of people apparently like Donald Trump. People could be wrong.
Trevor, right before you upload this one, you should look at the poll then, and then Michael will edit that part in with the up-to-date numbers.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts on all these important topics like Skittles versus Sweet Tarts. You can connect with us on cmconnect.org. You can reach our Facebook page at Children's Ministry Connect. It's kind of an open dialogue where you can post any of your questions or anything. If you have questions for the podcast, you could even leave them there. We'll be checking in on that. Or just shoot me an email at trevor@cmconnect.org. We really want to be a resource, so any questions at all, we would love to help out and just give our opinion and voice on. So on behalf of myself, Michael, Lori, and Brad, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Hey, Lori, I was just sending you a message. We lost your audio when you were answering that question, so
Okay.
you
were cutting in and out
abrupt
during
change
that
of-
too.
Yeah, the abrupt change of conversation wasn't because what you were saying didn't make sense. It was just that we couldn't hear you.
You should be fine. I'll edit it.
Yeah, Trevor will fix it.
Okay, so this one we'll do.
Do you know what date this is for?
The one right now, the one we just recorded, is next week.
Okay.
Next Wednesday, and this one's going to be the following week.
Okay. I make a note for you, Trevor.
Yeah.
That May 4th is like Star Wars Day. So when we record the one for that week, I wanted to, we should just do Star Wars out, like everything. Michael should have a soundboard, everything.
This is fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
The worst game.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so it's you and I, Lori. Let's see.
So that was a whole episode? Because I totally missed going to the Q&A. I didn't realize that that's what we were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Until we were in it.
He definitely said it. I heard it.
That's all right.
Yeah, I did the
We're getting so good, Michael. We're getting so good.
the conference recap as part of the Q&A.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that now. Sorry.
Okay.
I was listening, guys.
So Lori and me this time. Brad, do you have a fun thing, or I have a fun thing?
I was gonna. I have something I could do. I mean, it's just a throwaway thing at the beginning, yeah.
Go for it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Children's Ministry Now, the weekly podcast of CMConnect Global. Our heart here is to connect, serve, and advance children's ministers around the world. I'm your host, Trevor Adams, and you heard a little bit there at the beginning of our podcast from our interview this week. We'll also be answering your questions later on in the episode. But most important of all, with me this week is Michael Chanley, president of CMConnect Global.
Wait, I'm most important of all? Is that what you just said?
Well,
because
all of you, not necessarily.
Anyways, all right. Well, hey.
Lori Betrayan, senior director of children's ministry at Lakewood.
Hello, friends.
And Brad Tate, executive teaching pastor at 242 Community Church in Michigan.
It cannot be done. It can't be done. All right. I just.
Are we back on Skittles, Brad?
No. New thing. I wasted 8 weeks of my life watching a show on time travel. And here's the thing. Nobody can make a good time travel movie. It can't be done. Back to the Future was about as good as you could get, and that's it.
Back to the Future is pretty good.
You know, Interstellar was a good time travel movie, but it was more like the geeky science of time being warped by space.
Yeah, I just feel like the whole paradox of like change and changing things, it's just nobody handles it correctly.
How should
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I mean, I'm
curious.
I'm thinking about Time Cop. I'm thinking about some great, movies like that, and it's just like
Time Cop.
You remember Time Cop? Jean-Claude Van Damme? His kicks are so fast,
yeah.
he goes back in time. Or Lost. Did you guys watch the TV show Lost?
Oh, no spoilers.
No spoilers. It's been 10 years.
Spoilers, it's like 1990s, wasn't it?
That is the best show of all time.
It was the best
Yeah.
show. Best beginning. It did not end well, but
Oh, whatever, Brad. You stuck with me through the whole thing. You were on the edge of your seat.
I watched the whole thing, but I was a little disappointed. But yeah, so time travel. Let's just abandon it as a story motif. Let's not use it anymore. Just nobody does it right.
Okay. We'll give you that.
So okay, I got that off my chest. You guys can go on.
Good.
I feel like
feel better.
I feel like the Star Trek reboot was a successful time travel thing because it's like it created a whole new universe and
it's a little different.
Is it different?
A good movie.
Yeah, it's like they play with time travel and the repercussions of it, and
a bit. Yeah.
But they don't like go back and forth. I guess they do. I don't know.
Yeah, but they don't make much sense of it. Like where Back to the Future made a difference is at least Back to the Future made sense of it. I thought when the Star Trek when they went, when they land, he's like, now don't tell anyone, but this is the formula you created. Like I just thought that was a little bit dicey. Like it never quite made sense to me. But Back to the Future, it was a good storyline. It was a well written script.
I heard somebody talking about just like, what was the pitch for Back to the Future like? Like, I got this idea for a movie. This guy goes back in time, and they're like, yeah, go ahead. And what does he do? Does he try to save the president? No, he kind of almost makes out with his mom.
Important things. Well, Lori, what's been on your radar lately?
Hey, you know what? I was watching yesterday. I like documentaries. I like, I'm kind of like what's going on now. And so I was watching a news report on face recognition and how much that has boomed, the technology, how much that has caught up in the last 3 years, and where we're headed in the next 5 years with it, and the amount of cameras that are everywhere, and then the software that's running through those cameras, and to the extent that there's some talk about putting it on the phones, but they were talking about in this particular news, it was a little creepy, like on Big Brother massiveness. One, there's no legislation that monitors it. There's no legislation in place that says this is how we're going to do it. On one side, it's really cool. Like they measure the distance between your eyes. Like this is actually really unique. and that's one of the points. So they have 21 points on a person's face that they track, is how the system runs. But one of the biggest uses is they pull off social media accounts, and
I was
that's
just thinking
where like
that. Because you know, like Snapchat has like that face, the face thing on it, which
Yeah.
you know, I Snapchat now. I'm with the youths.
You
know,
go.
I'm cool. I'm
you
hip.
go. You the
But yeah, I'm
man.
just like basically I'm scanning my face, just saying like, hey, use this scan of my face, however you want, world.
Yeah, and that's basically what they were talking about, because they were talking about, from a security standpoint, as far as like you're going through an airport, XYZ crime has happened. They're trying to find the location of that person. It reminds me, what was that movie with Tom Cruise? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Really,
Far
it was high sci-fi
Minority Report.
movie.
Minority Report.
It has a lot of that feel. That's what I was
Not far
thinking when I
away.
was watching the report. But yeah, it was a little creepy. It was
Yeah.
Well,
But
and
on
you-
one hand, it could be really cool though, right? Like so, like
yeah,
you see how your thumbprint opens your phone. So if I just like point my phone towards my face, it just unlocks. That's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah,
Or if I'm like going to the airport, I don't have to like go through the hand my ID and do all the rigmarole. I just like face scan, go onto the plane. That's cool.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
what if like the movie Face Off? What if that happens and
Oh, someone
somebody
steals my
steals
face?
your face?
That would be bad. Or how about this? How about
Yeah.
like if someone just like
It'd be real bad,
what
Brad.
if someone just got a scar? Like you just like ate it on a motorcycle, and your face is like changed. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
that would be bad as well.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. It's just crazy to me. And what they did a big interview with the guy who's created the software heavily associated around this, and his big thing was, we haven't seen anything 5 years from now,
Yeah.
and how far it's going to be and how it's going to be used. So
Yeah.
it was.
Well, I'm
it
sure
was
it'll be
crazy.
used in advertising. Like I've heard how they'll have like a billboard on a street, and they'll see a camera, see who's walking past, and just like Google does, they know your browsing history. They'll show you an ad that's specifically geared towards you and towards
That could be
your
very
profile.
embarrassing for some
Yes.
people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I just think about the time like my wife is on my computer and she buys like just some kind of feminine
it's your
product or
wife,
something.
Brad. Yes.
And then like my cookies for like a week are like, do
Yeah.
you need some more hair dye or whatever it is? Like,
No, but I totally get that because my Netflix account totally thinks I want to watch My Little Pony and all these Disney shows. It's like suggest for you,
Yeah.
the Olsen twins.
Michael's gonna walk
taking
down the
you over
street and
to
all the
New York,
billboards just
whatever.
turn to My Little Ponies at him.
Yeah. I'm not a brony. I have an 11-year-old daughter.
That's funny.
Well,
Well, I have a very educational topic for us this week.
okay.
I want to uplift children's ministers around the world with proper spelling. So I have a
Oh, no.
spelling quiz.
Oh, I'm
It's so
out. I
bad.
can't spell to save my life.
So
I'm
bad.
so done
It'll be-
already.
It'll be-
Okay, before
It'll
we
be
even go into
amazing.
the spelling bee, Trevor, do you like sit like days before we do this podcast and you say, how can I torture them with like the deepest questions or the hardest things?
The people want to know. The people want
Well,
to
they
know.
can just know. I'll be happy
can't
to know
help it.
I cannot spell. Do not ask me ever to do this for you.
This is how we make other people feel better about themselves.
Oh, okay, good.
By revealing
Good,
our
okay.
stupidity.
And,
Okay.
and our pain. Go ahead, Trevor. We'd love to hear this. Please share.
Who do we want to humiliate first? Okay, let's start with Michael.
Right.
Okay, Michael, can you spell? And I'm looking at a list of the 100 most commonly misspelled words.
Oh, this is that just great. All right.
100 most commonly misspelled words.
Words.
Oh,
WORDS. Nailed it.
Okay, Michael, first word.
All right.
Can you spell? Let me find it.
Wow, this is like just hanging out
hey.
and
We need some
everything.
music. We need some music here.
Temperamental.
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 Temperamental. TEMPERMENTAL. Temperamental.
You missed an A in the middle of it.
What?
TEMPERMENTAL. A-M-E-N-T-A-L.
You're looking at something wrong.
Okay, Michael has 0. We're all gonna.
I think we're all gonna.
Two chances and see if anybody gets a point. And then, okay, Brad.
Oh, it's gonna
Your
be so
word.
bad.
Your word.
Please be kind.
Let me find one. All these look easy.
To you, you're looking at them.
Yeah, I guess that is the point. Okay, I'm just gonna randomly pick one, and we'll go with generally.
Generally. Generally.
Ding 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 ding.
See,
ding.
of course you give him the easy one.
Hey, I just randomly picked. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Okay, Brad has 1 point. Lori,
That's right, I do.
your
I
word.
feel good.
Your word is ridiculous.
Oh, are you kidding me? Ridiculous.
Ding ding ding. You are amazing.
That is because it's amazing because I have Google.
Oh no, you cheater!
Wow.
The truth be known,
You're banned. Banned from the spelling bee.
Lori's gonna go back on suspension.
That's funny. Okay, Michael, second word. You need this one.
Mm-hmm.
You need this one. Prevalent.
Prevalent. Prevalent. Am I saying it right? Because part of the problem is
Yeah.
where I come from, we don't speak proper English.
And that sounds right to me, yes.
Prevalent. Preval. Is it E or A? Prevalent. A-N-T.
Oh, come on! No!
E-N-T.
You knew that, right?
No, I really didn't.
Prevalent.
See, this is stupid because I'm actually a good speller, and now I feel like a...
Trevor, stop spell shaming us. You're spell
Yes,
shaming.
Trevor.
You're shaming us, yes. You're making us lie.
I'm
You're
so
making
triggered
us
right
cheat.
now. I'm so triggered.
Podcast.
Okay, Brad, just seal the win. Let me pick one randomly here.
This is not going to go well.
Anti-establishmentarianism.
Anti-establishmentarian.
There it is.
N-T-I. D-I. Is it anti-disestablishment?
Anti-establishmentarianism.
The
Use it in
country
a
of origin. Can I have the country of origin? I got it.
Yeah, so hold on. Lori, can you Google that for us?
Sure, I got it.
What are the kids behind us going to do? Like so we actually had to learn to spell all these words at one point in time, but now Microsoft Word has saved us from that. Do kids even today have spelling bees and spelling classes?
Yes. Children still have spelling classes, Brad.
But that's what I'm saying, because I remember doing youth ministry and having some kids in youth because they're so used to text and texting.
Yeah.
Like when they wrote, their grammar was so bad.
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's still the big national spelling bee and stuff, and it's a big deal still. It's just not. I don't know. I think it's not a big emphasis. It's not as much an emphasis. It's much easier to find the correct spelling of a word or information in general. I tried to explain to my kids one day how difficult it used to be to actually research something and learn information. I'm like, why did you even try? Like, how did you even exist without the internet? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Its country of origin is actually Britain.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There you go.
Is that
United
Brad?
Kingdom.
Oh, in that case, then the text spelling is.
Well, Brad, we will give the victory to you since Lori cheated.
We're literally losing subscribers to the podcast right now. Thanks for bringing this game in, Trevor. This is great.
Hey,
Do you know the word? You know the word I never spelled
I am
right the first time.
unsubscribing.
Well, here's the question: what's the one word that you never spell right? So for mine, It's restaurant. Every
Really?
single time I write the word restaurant, I misspell it. Every single time.
Mm.
Which way do you spell it wrong? Like, how do you spell it normally?
I put
How
the
are you that
AU in the
dumb?
wrong spot, but I don't know where. Restaurant or restaurant. Like I put the AU in the wrong spot every
Okay.
time.
Huh.
Okay.
I always have to think dessert and dessert. Okay, or dessert and desert. Which one has? I always have to double check which one has a
I think
two S.
Greek is hard because I always have to think about the I or the E, because it's I before E except for C.
Except for in the word grief. That's the end of the.
Isn't it
Yep.
GRIEF?
It is, but like it's one, in my mind, it's one of the words that I think it's backwards,
I got
and
you.
so I always mess it up. And like sometimes when there's a double syllable in some words, I'm trying to think of an example. Marketing, I think I always mess up how many T's because I think it's just one T in marketing, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so see, it's an exception to the rule.
Where spelling gets dangerous is when the word is at all close to an improper word that you should not use. So about 2 weeks about 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago,
Story coming.
there's a story coming. So I had a staff person that was sending out a list of some values, and she had proofed it and it had gone through, but a parent, thank goodness, a parent who was one of the very first ones to read it, came back and said, you may want to change your document because she dropped a couple of S's out of the word assessed.
That's awesome. So you assess these people. Yeah, it's awesome.
Wow. At the conference a couple weeks ago, we were telling the story. In Australia and New Zealand, they have this phrase that they say "sweet as," and what they're saying is sweet, like it's as sweet as honey. Like they'll say something instead of saying, "Hey, that's really cool," they'll say, "Oh, sweet as, mate." And the first time I was there and heard them saying it, everyone was saying it from the stage in New Zealand, and I'm like, what? Like, why are they keep saying this phrase?
Why is this okay? Why is this okay?
And I had to lean over to my friend Andy and ask him, and he's like, no, they're saying sweet as. And I'm like, well, what does it mean? And so...
Yeah, Barry said that from the stage and got some reactions.
Yeah.
There was a gasp. There was an audible gasp from the crowd.
They did. And so everyone kept hashtagging everything at the conference, hashtag sweet as or hashtag only one S.
It didn't help that we were in a town with a drugstore butt drugs.
Yeah.
And so that was the running joke. So yeah, butt
last
drugs is the running joke, and then sweet as hitting the stage. So
Yeah.
That's really good.
language is fun.
Well, speaking of something
important.
Speaking of something truly educational, let's jump into our interview.
See that segue?
That was
Dude, you just nailed that, man.
All right, Q&A time. All right, question and answer time. This week, I want to do something a little different. We're going to role play a little bit, act like
Ooh, I want to be
I'm
an
a
elf.
children's-
I want to be an elf. I'm going to do level 12.
I'm going to be a children's minister, but I am frustrated. I'm about to quit. Okay, you all are my mentors. How would you encourage someone like me that was in my situation to?
Well, after that game you just dropped on us, I'd encourage you to just
Go.
leave the church.
Go, leave me.
Go. Get out of
Children's
here.
ministers are a dime a dozen.
Make sure you pray that God calls you to someplace sunny and warm.
Okay, so we're supposed to talk you off the cliff of leaving? Is that the idea?
Yeah, how would you encourage someone to stick with it?
Who wants to go first on this one?
Cast vision, basically, for someone for children's
For
ministry.
me, whenever in any ministry, when people feel like they're moving on and they want to leave, I mean, the first question I ask is, why? Because here's the thing. I think we tend to think vocationally, and we tend to think about employment opportunities, and we live in a society where people need to make a living for themselves or whatever. And I think a lot of times when people leave ministry, they leave thinking I'm either going to go to a bigger church or a bigger thing, or I'm going to leave to a vocation where I'll make more money. And so I always encourage people: do you feel like God is calling you out of ministry? because if he is, and if you need a season of refreshing, a season to heal, if you need a season whatever, then fine. But if you're just going just to get more, or if you're going just to get something bigger, God may not be releasing you from where you are. And so really, just I encourage people to have discernment on that before they make that decision to step out of ministry. And then if they're leaving, just if they feel like God has called them, then the next question is, how do you leave well? Because leaving a ministry is not like leaving a job at McDonald's. There's lives involved. There's people involved. You need to find out a way to leave well.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good. Yeah, I think, and sometimes people find themselves in that situation for all kinds of reasons, from the reasons of God truly is calling them to something else. Sometimes they're running from the pain of a situation. Sometimes there's other ways where they haven't figured out how to balance life. So ministry feels like it's eating up more of their life than they anticipated, and so it's a balance issue. So mostly, I jump into those conversations similar to Brad, where it's a lot more questions than it is, oh, come on, you can do it. It's really just trying to figure out what's going on in their personal life and where they're at, and so it's a very personal question. But from a children's pastor who's feeling tired and weary and worn out, I think the biggest battle we have every day as a children's pastor, going back to, it's been 3 years since I've been in a worship service. You have to, as a children's pastor, have to be so diligent about your spiritual life. How are you being a great self-feeder? How are you feeding yourself? How are you making sure you're taking your breaks? How are you making sure you're getting those things put in? And then, sometimes we're in uncomfortable situations, and it'd be a whole lot easier to run. But really what God is trying to do is teach us something new and to grow a new muscle on us. And so the best thing we can do is just to stay in it. But you never know until you're walking that with someone and what that looks like.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, buy more Skittles.
No, sweet tarts. I think it's I think it's hard because there's so many different variables that come into play. I think it's definitely. I've talked to people before, and this is something that comes up a lot. I think a lot of people reach out to me when they're going through transitions, just because they know that, through CM Connect, I'm available, and I guess because I'm an outside party who's not going to have a biased opinion about their situation or what's going on, and also maybe because they're hoping that I know of the places that are hiring or places they can move to or whatever, but I always start with just questions of, why do you feel like leaving? Like, what is it that's going on in your life? And there are reasons, that sometimes people are going through really difficult situations, and it could be with their leadership at the church, or it could be with some of the politics, if you will, of the church that they're serving at. And there are good reasons to leave, and there are definitely good reasons to stick it out. So I don't know. It's hard to give like a blanket. Hard for me to give like a blanket answer because I'm thinking of all these different situations that I've spoken to people about it. I don't know. Usually I have more questions for the person before I try.
Well, I just left children's ministry.
Okay. Well, see you later.
You lost me. No.
You're out of here. No, I think I would just good riddance to you. Take your spelling bee and go somewhere else, buddy. I don't know. It's hard though, right? I mean, I've really gone through seasons where I just wanted to give up and didn't want to have anything to do with the church or people in the church whatsoever, because it can be really, really hurtful serving in churches, and you can make the mistake of equating the church and the people in the church to relationship with God, or at least I know that's something that I've fallen into before as a pit, and it's wrong. God is so much bigger than that, and God will affirm you that He is not those people, and He is not that building, and He is not that job, and you can serve Him in lots of different ways in and out of the church. You have to really think about what's best for your family, what's best for your situation, and what is He calling you to, and just pray that He moves you in the right direction. I don't know. There's some people though that, they just get burnt so bad by the church. It's hard to it's hard to say anything else to them except for, hey, well, let's step out for a while and get your head right. And if you're meant to be in the church serving, then God's going to call you back to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Get out of here, Trevor.
Kind of a follow-up.
You can do the old white fang, treatment. Just go on now, get. Go on now, get.
What? I don't know. What is that from? I don't know the reference. The movie?
I remember the book. Wasn't that a book?
It was a book and a movie.
No. I don't think I saw that.
All right.
Well, kind of follow-up question for that, Brad, you touched on it. We all probably at some point in ministry will go through a season of transition, whether it's just a job title change or you're moving to a new church. What are some keys to transition well?
I mean, I think the keys to transitioning well begins well before the transition. You need to have an apprentice under you learning what you do. I think everybody in any ministry position in any church needs to realize your role in that position is not to just do the ministry you're called to. It's to do the ministry you're called to and to be raising someone up to do it after you. That is biblical. Yeah. And I think a lot of senior pastors miss the boat on this. I think a lot of pastors miss the boat on this, that they're not raising up Timothys to take up after them. 2 Timothy 2:2, one of my favorite verses, Paul, the things that God has passed on to me, I'm entrusting to you to pass on to reliable people. Yeah. You see these 4 generations of training happening, and we need that in our church today.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that transition happens well. I think recognizing when transition is coming, often we feel the anointing come, God's moving us. And so often the transition comes because the situation feels uncomfortable and we respond in very human ways versus embracing it's okay that it feels uncomfortable because God's calling me to a new place. And so your transition is, you never want to leave. People will remember how you leave. Even if you do a fantastic job of being at some place for years, they will remember how you leave. And if you leave poorly, that's what they're going to remember. And so, do you really want whatever that is, and there's lots of, there can be ugliness that happens, but do you really want to be the contributing factor into more ugliness? So I think one of the keys to transitions is, one, that you personally recognize that transition is happening and that you own your spiritual walk with there, that seasons of transitions need to be times when you are even closer to God, that you lean in even harder with God than, just when even seasons of building. Yeah. So transitioning well really, it's such a personal thing, and you want to set people up to win.
Yeah, Lori, you were a missionary for a while. You worked for a nonprofit mission agency for a while. Now you're at Lakewood. What were those kind of transitions like?
Each one has been different and unique, and with each transition, the other thing you have to realize is there's always a period of grieving of what the book that you're closing. Sometimes we look at it and we say, we're just turning to a new chapter of the book, and other times we're physically closing that book and putting that book on the shelf. And when we're in the moments of physically closing a book and putting it on the shelf, there's some grieving. And so it's one of my keys is always you embrace the grief. Yeah. You just embrace it and walk through it and deal with it. And then, but you also look with joy to what's next. And transitions are, one of the ways I describe transitions is, it's a lot like a trapeze, where they have the 2 bars and you have people swinging between those 2 bars. And so with a trapeze, the moment of most tension is in the transition when you have one hand on each bar. And at some point you got to let go of one of those bars. Which one are you going to let go of? And so you just have to know that in seasons of transition, there's excitement that comes with transition, there's sadness that comes with transition, and there's tension. And at the point that you're able to let go and release, you'll find joy again.
Yeah, that's good.
So there's no. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's good. I don't know if I have anything to add. I think you guys pretty much nailed that one. Yeah. Transition's hard.
Yeah. I think having good mentors and people you can depend on is a big deal. You know, I made a huge transition when I moved from Chicago this last time down here. We have been in Chicago for a long time. And so when I moved down here, and not only were we starting a new job, it's all, you know, our social life, our small group life, our every aspect, our neighborhood, a different, you know, it's a little bit different culture in Texas than it is in Chicago. And I was very blessed. The thing that really sustained me for the first, you know, little over a year was I had 4 friends who put me on their calendar, and they called me every week. One of them, and what they said to me was, we don't want you to have to be dependent on finding new friendships right away, that you can transition other things. And so they called me once a week, and they would, you know, and they would listen to the they knew me. You know, I didn't have to lean into somebody who may or may not know me, who may or may I could trust, but people who could just honestly speak truth back to me and love me through that process. And so I would say one of the things in transition is surrounding yourself with at least 1 to 2 people that you know you can trust and will speak truth to you in that transition.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's a blessing to have that kind of community.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, I've been blessed, I guess, that I've lived in the same community all my life, and thinking about, you know, moving somewhere else to take a job. Like, I mean, we have such strong relationships in our small community, and it would be really challenging. So yeah, that's a good word of advice there. Well, we would love to hear your experiences as well with transitions, whether they're good or the bad. We can learn from both for sure. So reach out to us on cmconnect.org or go to our Facebook page at Children's Ministry Connect, or shoot me an email at trevor@cmconnect.org. We'd love to share your experiences on the podcast or any questions you may have. So on behalf of myself, Michael, Lori, and Brad, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. Awesome. Nailed it.
All right.
After half an hour of technical difficulties.
I know. 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Awesome.
What episodes are these? Number?
Let me look real quick. These are episode 20 and 21.
Wow.
I'm going to check my calendar today and get back with y'all. I'm leaving April 19th to go to Colombia for 10 days or so. So we might have to get one other recording in before then so that we have enough podcast material.
Cool.
During that time. But I'll shoot you all a text or email and we'll figure it out.
Awesome. I have to run, grab lunch because I have a 1 o'clock meeting.
Cool. All right.
See you, brother.
Thank you.
See you, man.
Bye,
See you guys.
Brian.
Peace.
Lori, did you get my, I didn't check, did you get my calendar invite? Michael had some trouble with it.
I got it. I received it. I just...
I sent it on Wednesday.
It went to the wrong thing. I guess. Something didn't sync. I remember accepting it.
I've been using Apple Calendar, but I might try using Google Calendar.
Yeah, I didn't see it come through. Because I went back to the text. But let me check my phone calendar and make sure I didn't receive it. Yeah, no, it didn't come through.
Okay, well, I'll try Google Calendar, and when I do it, I'll shoot out a message to make sure everybody got it.
Okay.
Well,
all right, guys.
Thanks so much for your time.
See you later.
All
Thanks,
right,
Lori.
see ya. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
You too.